NewsOK.com's coverage of the Oklahoma City Thunder is sponsored by Eskridge Lexus. I'm Dave Morris, joined by Darnell Mayberry from the Oklahoman on the phone on the East Coast in Orlando. Darnell travels with the team. And Darnell, you mentioned on Twitter on Thursday before the trading deadline about the difference you noticed in this week's flight schedules.
Yeah, the coach Scott Brooks said that it was just coincidence and that he had scheduled that back in August, but lo and behold, that 2:30 flight did come in handy because Jeff Green, Morris Peterson, Nenad Kursic, and DJ White did not make the flight to Orlando, and sure enough, they needed that little extra time so those guys didn't have to get on the plane.
All right, Darnell Mayberry on the phone in Orlando. You've spoken with both the Thunder and the Magic players, and what has been the internal reaction from the Thunder players?
Shock. For the most part, no one really saw this coming. When you lose a good amount of your teammates, I think the first emotion is shock and sort of disappointment. I think a lot of the players have been saddened by the loss of good friends and good players and teammates. So, I think for the most part, guys are sort of just trying to maintain, and the spirits aren't all that high right now. Guys are really trying to wrap their minds around it, I think, and try to move on. But I think deep down they know that Sam Presti made the best deal possible and is trying to make this team better and a championship caliber team going forward. So I think deep down they know that, and they know that this is the business of the NBA and that it could happen at any moment. So, I think all in all, they think it's a good move for the long-term success of this franchise.
These trades give the Thunder a serious front line to compete against teams such as the Lakers.
Oh, yeah. You look at Ibaka, Perkins, and then behind them you have Nick Collison sliding back to his natural power forward position, and then Nazr Muhammad backing up Kendrick Perkins. You're incredibly long, you're incredibly strong, and you have muscle down in the paint and shot blocking, and also a mix of athleticism and brawn. So this team is really coming together quite well in terms of the talent, the scoring duo. And you have Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, the second leading scoring duo in the league behind Miami's Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. Kevin Durant obviously leading the league in scoring. And then you have some additional scoring in James Harden still coming off the bench. And now you've got defenders, post defenders, in Perkins and Muhammad to go along with Pablo Cephalosha on the perimeter. So, I really love the move that Sam Presti made, and I think it's really going to help them compete with the Lakers, with a team like San Antonio. And Dwight Howard told me at shoot-around out in Orlando that this team is a legitimate championship caliber team now. They look at this team from the outside and say they've got the pieces. Now they just need to get the experience, and that experience is going to come again in this postseason.
Nazr Muhammad sent out the following tweet on Friday. He says, quote, "My son asked the nanny, can we trade nannies too? He said he heard they have good nannies in Oklahoma City. Who can we expect to see in uniform on Sunday at the Oklahoma City Arena against the Lakers?"
Well, I do expect to see Nazr Muhammad and Nate Robinson in uniform. Kendrick Perkins is still out with a knee injury. He's going to miss at least a week with a left knee injury that he banged up earlier this week. So, we won't see him in uniform in all likelihood, but it depends on whether Perkins and, Muhammad and Nate Robinson, how much they're able to go and practice on Saturday, and whether or not Scott Brooks feels comfortable with throwing them out there. They're both veteran guys, and I do expect to see Nazr Muhammad at the very least, if not Nate Robinson, on the court Sunday against the Lakers.
One last question for Darnell. Give us your take on the Thunder's rotation. Who's on the first and second units now?
I think Russell Westbrook starts at 1. Pablo Cephalosha, I think, is going to stay there at shooting guard. Kevin Durant at small forward, Serge Ibaka at power forward, and Kendrick Perkins, when he gets healthy, is going to be the starting center. It's going to be interesting to see what Scott Brooks does with the starting shooting guard spot, because James Harden looks ready to sort of step in there and take over at that spot. But whether Scott Brooks wants offense or defense, he's going to have to decide what he wants to do there. And then the second unit, Eric Maynor, Daquan Cook, James Harden, if he doesn't start, which I'd expect, again, Scott Brooks to keep his rotation the same, his starters the same, rather. And then you got Collison and Nazr Muhammad in the second unit. I think that's a great 10-man rotation if Scott Brooks decides to use 10 guys. And then you also got Nate Robinson, who I didn't even mention. He can be a spark plug, as good of a sixth man in this league, and he might not even be able to play for the Thunder consistent minutes. So that just tells you how much more talented this team is.
Darnell Mayberry, we appreciate the knowledge and your time. Safe travels. The Oklahoman and News OK, the only local media that is at every Thunder game, home and road. And that was Darnell Mayberry. You can follow him on Twitter, especially during the games, and his Thunder Rumblings vlog for more insight and analysis. Up next with the Thunder at Orlando tonight, then a 1:30 p.m. tip-off against the LA Lakers Sunday at the Oklahoma City Arena, and a 7 p.m. game against Indiana, also in Oklahoma City on Wednesday. This Thunder Fast Break brought to you by our friends at Eskridge Lexus. We appreciate their support. Stop in and see them today. For News OK, I'm Dave Morris. NewsOK.com's coverage of the Oklahoma City Thunder is sponsored by Eskridge Lexus.